Buongiorno, pomeriggio, buonasera, fellow Melanists, and welcome to the MLM podcast with me, your host, of course, Max Lombardia. Today, on a quick episode, we're going to just talk about that Genoa game. We're going to talk about the Cagliari game upcoming, the stuff that's going on around Milan at the moment, etc., etc. Just a plug before we start. Please like and subscribe if you can to our YouTube channel, to our Instagram, to X, to TikTok, to everything. Just scrolling below is the Substack. If you can join our Substack, that would be great. It's £3.50 a month for all bonus content, or you can become a founding member for about 40 quid. Big thank you to Rajat, Shane, and of course Rune, who are our founding members, and a big thank you to Buzz, who is our weekly subscriber, or monthly, sorry, and a big thank you to all the free subscribers as well. So look, guys, this is going to be a long one. It's just myself on here today. We're just going to talk about a few bits and bobs going on around Milan. So look, the first thing to talk about is that Genoa game. Obviously, we were in a pretty tricky situation going into it. The teams around us had done well. We'd lost 2 games in a row against Atalanta and against Sassuolo. We'd been on a really rubbish run of form. Actually, we were worse this return leg than we were last season's return leg with Conceição. And Allegri was doing everything he could to make things just as bad, if not worse. So not great going into this game. No real hope for this game. No one was really predicting a win. Everyone was saying draw or loss or a win. You know, Genoa look more favoured than we are at the moment. And remember, this is a Genoa team who had nothing to play for, literally nothing. They're safe. They're not going to be in any other competitions. They're not going to be in any European competitions. They're not in Coppa Italia still, nothing. So we went there. We fielded a slightly different starting formation, obviously due to suspensions and injuries. So we had Mike Maignan in goal. We had Gabbia, Tomori, and Pavlovic as the back three. Bartazaghi started, Atakami started because Salamakers was suspended. Yashari was back in there because Richie was injured. Around Fofana and Rabiot, and up front we had Nkunku and Santi Jimenez. Again, suspension, injuries. Pulisic, is he injured? Is he not? No one knows. Leao suspended from the last game. So probably the best that could go out there in terms of the rubbish depth and quality that we have. An absolute putrid first 45 minutes. And if you needed any more or anything else to show you just how bad this Milan plays, I think the first 45 minutes is everything you need to see. We can talk about results, we can talk about the win, we can talk about everything you want, but Milan cannot play like that. It cannot play like that. It cannot play like that against a team like Genoa. It cannot give 65% possession to Genoa. It cannot allow Genoa to do whatever they want with the ball without the ball. It cannot be this poor on set pieces. It cannot be this poor on keeping possession. It cannot be this poor in defensive play. It cannot be this poor in going forwards. It is shocking to watch. And yes, we can accredit everything to the management as we've done all season long. And you wouldn't be wrong. But we need to start looking at, well, we have looked at, and we need to start calling out a spade for a spade. Allegri's tactics are shocking. The way that this team plays is putrid, and it carries on every single week. And we are just kind of holding on, and we are just kind of watching, and we were just kind of, you know, surviving these games. And they are so awful, absolutely awful to watch. I'm sorry, but I can't watch this much longer. I know. Is it that Allegri needs the right players? Again, there's an argument for that. Does he have the right players? No. Has he been given the right players? No. He asked for reinforcements in January. He got Fulkrug. Again, there's lots of context. But we've played like this really all season. We've just had better results first half against second half. We've had better clutch performances. We've had players scoring goals, and now they're not. It's not good. I don't think this is sustainable next season either. We'll talk about that in a second, I guess. But the first half, awful, absolutely awful. Vitinha has a great chance, and if he's a bit better with his left foot, he slots that top left-hand corner. Again, easy to play through us, ball across, all the time in the world, takes a shot. Due to his lack of quality more than anything, can't finish. Milan, nothing really. There's one small chance. I think Jimenez gets bodied or bossed off the ball. Gets to half time. We score thanks to a gift, really. I can't remember the guy's name, Amarim or whatever his name is, at the back for Genoa. Makes a really bad pass to his keeper. Keeper comes up all guns blazing. And Nkunku does well to anticipate the ball and draw a foul. Good. professional foul, clear-cut penalty. There can be no argument with that. And Nkunku does the only real good thing he's done all season, which is score penalties, to be fair to him. Converts his 5th penalty of the season. Really well taken, actually. 1-0 win, 1-0 lead, sorry. Again, more of the same. More of Genoa controlling play. If Genoa had some quality in the final third, if Colombo had been a bit better, I think this would have been another bad game for us, probably another loss. Eventually, we get the second goal. Allegri makes some changes. Fulkrug nods down to Pulisic. Pulisic makes a pass to Takame. Takame hits a pretty good shot. Keeper doesn't get to it, 2-0. And I hoped for the first time, probably this year, maybe, I could be comfortable. I could watch a game in peace for 20, 30 minutes, whatever was left, knowing that we were 2-0 up. But of course, that's physically impossible here. So we end up conceding such a bad goal, such poor defending again. De Winter, is he trying to give his old team a goal? I don't know. Between him and Gabbia, they absolutely make a pig's ear of it. And then what's his name scores and he celebrates, takes the captain armband and kisses it like he's, I don't know what he's won really. And it's 2-1 and of course it's squeaky time, isn't it? And it's difficult and it's hard. And Genoa continue to have chances and we look rubbish and we look like we're going to concede. And then there's that chance where Yashari plays an exquisite pass to the Genoa striker who's in on goal on his own. Luckily, Manyan stands tall and saves it. I think Yashari comes off not soon after that. So we struggle. AC Milan struggles its way to an away 2-1 win against a Genoa team that had absolutely nothing to play for. And I think what I find more embarrassing and more frustrating is this overexcitement and this over-celebration of this win, even from Allegri. And I'm just thinking, you just about beat a team that's playing for nothing away. You know, just about. What are you celebrating? What are you punching the air for? Let's put this in context. Inter celebrate their domestic double whilst we celebrate just about beating Genoa away through another putrid performance, for another horrible game where tactics and patterns of play don't exist and individual quality is lacking and we can't even do the very basics of a professional football team. Two of those basics I want to discuss. Positional play. We have just forgotten how to do that in defence, in midfield, and in attack. There is nothing going on there other than kind of chasing the ball. There's a little bit of structure towards the back, I guess. We've learned how to defend in a unit of 8. That's it, positionally. We are so poor positionally. And the other thing, again, basic, retaining possession. It's not difficult for a professional football team to do this. We are incapable. We are literally incapable of retaining possession. We can't do it in the defence. We lose the ball after 3 or 4 passes. We can't do it in midfield. We literally cannot string 4 passes together. And our attack, whether it's Pulisic, Leao, Fulkrug, Nkunku, Jimenez, RLC playing up there, Amadonna herself playing up there, we cannot maintain possession. We lose possession within 3-4 touches of the ball, and we invite this counter-attack from any team every single week, and we look so shit in transition, whether we're going forwards, whether we're coming backwards. This is on the manager. There's no one's going to convince me otherwise. This is on the manager, defending so much focus on defending and being tight at the back that we have just forgotten everything else. And you get the odd spark from Rabiot, and you get the odd spark, in attack by, well, not this half of the season, but you get the odd run, you get the old shot, you get the old, corner, you get, when Richie set that, set piece against Atalanta and Pavlovic scored. You get those moments, but this isn't cohesive. This isn't a game plan. This is none of that. This is showing real amateur level play. And is it again, in terms of the context, he doesn't have a great squad. It's 21-man team. As soon as someone's injured, a player like a Takami starts. Thank God he did, I guess, because he actually scored. He actually looked better than Salamakers, if I'm honest, especially the last few games. Rubbish, really rubbish. And you just know what's coming in the next game. You just know. Now, luckily, and it's luck, nothing more than that, Juventus managed to lose against Fiorentina at home, which put us up back into third and gave us a little bit of breathing space. Roma, of course, played into second string team Lazio, and they won quite comfortably. No tifo. Lazio Ultras boycotting a derby, but didn't boycott the Milan team game. Weird one, that. Am I supposed to think any different than other than Inter told them to turn up? I don't know. Did Marotta tell his children to turn up? I don't know. Marotta and Latito, the Ultras. I don't know. Weird. What weird. You don't turn up for anything other than that one game against Milan. I mean, you won deservedly. I'm not saying you didn't, but weird stuff going on. Anyway, they got battered by Roma. Good. Enjoyed that. Roma obviously joint on points with Milan. So Milan sit third because of the head-to-head with Roma. Como a little bit away. Juventus a little bit away. Napoli secured Champions League football. Fair enough. Conte's on his way out. That will have a merry-go-round with the managers, I'm sure. We'll see what that looks like. Obviously, Inter deservedly so win their Scudetto. No arguments from me. I think anyone... There's a lot of conversation around this is the worst Serie A in ages. They're the worst team to have won it. They didn't really beat any big teams apart from one or two games. But that is just bullshit. That is just people struggling to cope, because over a 38-game stretch, you have to be the best team in the league to win. You don't just win the league. It's not like a knockout thing. So, yeah, you can say everything you want about them. They're larger, they're bastardi, they're Villa de Boltani. You can say everything you want. But they won the Scudetto fair and square in my eyes by quite a comfortable margin as well. At one point, we were 6 points behind having won the derby, and then we completely capitulated. If you can point at our team and say how shit we are and all the problems that we have, but you shouldn't really deflect that onto another club that have won 2 trophies this season. As much as I hate them, as much as it hurts, as much as Turan thinks he's a big man with all those celebrations, fair play to him. Let him do it, because if it was the other way around, I'd be loving it like we did. So let's not play. Let's not be the moral high grounders. That doesn't exist in this context. In 10 years' time, no one will give a shit how they won the league. They won their 21st title and they won another Coppa Italia, whilst our management have got their dick in their hands still in Gaza Milan. So let's stop that. Let's finish it there. So look, we're going to the Cagliari game. Absolute have to win. Anything other than a win, I think, and we're fucked basically for next season. Jerry Cardinale turns up to the Genoa game. Thank God. Grazie, Cardinale, for turning up. Thank you. I think you need to invest some of your hard-earned money in a better pair of trainers, by the way. You're far too old to be wearing trainers like that. Anyway, turns up to the stadium. Thank God he's there. Maybe he's what won the game. He turned up. He spoke in the changing rooms. What did he say? Hey, guys, I need my money next year, so please make sure that you win this game. I need the Champions League. What did he say? What on earth does someone like that say to the team? Anyway, whatever. He turns up. Milan win. We need to beat Cagliari. It's important for the survival of the club in terms of making Champions League next season. Does it matter in any other context? No. Will it change anything? No. I don't think it changes anything, really. I also wouldn't believe all the bullshit you read. I'm just saying that as well. There are lots of nonsensical and journalistic things and sensationalism and all these opinions coming out of every corner and angle. But I'll talk that in a sec. But what really fundamental was the 3 points against Cagliari. Cagliari at home. Cagliari survived. Nothing to play for. So you know what's going to happen, right? It's going to be a fucking awful, putrid first half again. You're probably going to see a similar lineup to the game in the game against Genoa. It's going to be no cohesion. We're going to lose possession 100 times. We're not going to be able to make passes in the final third. If we're lucky, we win this 1-0. I think we're that bad. Honestly, I genuinely think we're that bad. I'm not being negative. I'm being as honest as I can. And anyone that thinks that performance against Genoa was good, wow. Like what are you watching? You're lowering your standard to a point that is... I mean, it's nice to talk about a win, but really? So, yeah, not good. Not good. Must win. Whatever happens in Juve, whatever happens to Como, whatever happens to Roma, Milan have to win that game. Now let's talk about the other stuff. So, Fulani out is everywhere. I'm doing it every single Milan post. I will continue to do it. I don't give a fuck what anyone tells me or what they say. He needs to go. He is the reason all of this is happening in my eyes. Now, a lot of heat has gone Zlatan's way in the last couple of weeks. And I'm sat here trying to think, and again, I'm not absolving him. Jesus, I'm just as much to blame as the others. Is this to deflect from Fulani? Is this a media thing? Has someone influenced someone to start talking about Ibra instead of Fulani? And we're hearing a lot more about that than we are about Fulani all of a sudden. What do I think on that? Well, these are my 2 pence on it. So it all started way before Ibrahimovic was part of this management group or Redbird Advisor, whatever the fuck he is. This was way before any of that. So I would just be cautious around what you think in terms of what Zlatan's affected. Again, it's a lot by the sounds of things, but the rot started way before Zlatan was still a player when the rot started. So just, if you're going to apportion the blame, you apportion it to Cardinale for putting Fulani in place, then it's Fulani for me straight after that. Then is the rest of it. Then is the granule problems. But Fulani for me is a root cause. Until Fulani is out of AC Milan, forget it. Just forget it. And if he appoints new people and he changes the manager and sporting director, makes no fucking difference. Look at this season. Appointed a new manager. I mean, is it better than last season? Yeah, but the second half hasn't been. It's been worse. What sort of football are we playing? It's atrocious. It is atrocious football, which is unsustainable. Hence the results in the second half of the season. This is like Juve Mark II with Allegri, by the way. Pretty much what we saw and what we said. Sporting director made a couple of decisions. A few decisions I think were made for him. He's going to probably go. Of course he is. Allegri's probably going to go. Of course he is. Fine. What's Fulani going to replace them with? It ain't going to be what you want it to be. I'm seeing people say things like Guardiola. Honestly, whatever you're smoking, send it my way because I think I need some after the last few weeks. You're up. I don't know where the hell you're getting this stuff from. Klopp. Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right, mate. Yeah. You know it's going to be. It's going to be an Italiano. It's going to be someone like that because they will just do what they're told and they'll go along with whatever. And they'll be the scapegoat when we eventually next season are shit in the Champions League, shit in the league, don't compete for anything. Because culture for me starts at the top. And the culture at the top is about making money, not about sport and success. Till any of that changes, you can forget all of it. Am I going to change team? No. Am I going to stop supporting Milan? Probably not. But I think for me, this season in particular has been about redefining the realistic part of Milan. What is Milan now? This is what Milan is, unfortunately. It is a team to generate cash for its owners. It is a team to buy players on the cheap or through injury or through low expectancy to try and get something out of them. It is then to sell those players as much as possible. I mean, we can't even do that. Let's look at Reinders. I mean, he's had a shit year, but we could have got more for that. So yeah, let's realign our expectations, shall I say, going into next season. Leao could be his last game against Cagliari, and again, I've been backwards and forwards in the last few weeks with this, but I've always defended Leao because I always think he gets so much shit for no reason. I think it's sometimes the hate is a little bit too much, and you kind of wonder: is it about the football? Or is it about something else? However, I have to say, if he goes and he's sold, not bothered really. Makes no difference to me. I think I'm more interested in what they're replacing with, which will no doubt be a second string player from somewhere that was cheap, or a random signing like in Nkunku that made no sense whatsoever. How much will they get from? Well, because again they've depreciated the asset more and more. I can't see more than 50 million euros if you're lucky. Which will be a shame. He's still under contract. There is some bargaining power. He's probably going to have a good World Cup, I reckon, which will probably put his price up a bit. But they say never buy players on World Cup form, but we're not buying, we're selling. So let's see. Pulisic, there's lots of rumours about him on his way out. I think, again, that depends on the World Cup. If he has a good one, he'll be gone. If he doesn't, who's going to buy him, let's be honest. So he'll be back at Milan, I think. Jimenez, I think, will be gone. Fulkrug definitely won't be staying, thank the Lord. I think, there's this... So let's talk about Zlatan, actually. It leads me nicely. So the news is that Zlatan... So they had a meeting all together, And Allegri tells Zlatan who he didn't want in the project for next year, although they had a conversation about it. And apparently Zlatan then told those players. And that's what they're apportioning the lack of results in the second half of the season to demotivated players, apparently. Zlatan controls too much. Zlatan's got involved too much. That's the key part of it. Don't know. I mean, the rumours with players like Fofana, players like Tomori, I mean, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, all going. I mean, I wouldn't be against that, to be honest. So yeah, apparently a lot of it's gone towards Ibrahimovic. Now, if I was Jerry Cardinale, and I looked at the trend, which is what you do in business, you look at a trend, not a blip or a outlier. The trend is a downward trajectory, but cost is going up in terms of how much we're spending. However, because they're so good at financially, the sponsorship deals and the plus valences, in terms of actual profit or loss, it's actually at a profit. So although cost of players has gone up, the 500 some or so million we've spent on players, that's a lot more than we'd ever spent before. Actually, the turnover and the profit is fine. So if he looks at it from a financial point of view, he wouldn't change anybody, right? Why would you change anyone? That's what he's there for. If he looks at it from a sporting side, which is what we should do, really, is what we do as fans, I would just carte blanche the whole bloody thing. Scaroni gone, Moncada gone, Fellaini gone, Ibrahimovic gone, all gone, and I'd replace them with people that know about football / know about Milan. I mean, obviously, it'd be a dream, wouldn't it, Cagliari and Maldini, but that will never happen. So I don't know. There's lots of rumours and stuff, but I think that, again, that leads me, I guess, to my next part, which is about this podcast and kind of what we're going to do going forwards. So I think it's very difficult to come on here every week and repeat yourself and talk about the same thing all the time. Talk about the management, talk about the coach, the players, Fellaini, Cardinal. We could do this every week, and we have done for ages. And it's getting a bit boring. If I'm really honest, it's becoming difficult to do it. Just draining the energy from me and Gino. So we've made a bit of a decision. We're going to do an end of season review podcast. We're going to try and get a guest. And then we're probably going to call it at that till next season, possibly. I think if there's no major change, it will be difficult for me and Gina to continue talking about the same thing, if I'm perfectly honest. Yeah, I don't really want to put myself through that again. And then the sort of hate and stuff that comes alongside it with weird people and weird podcasters and strange people with their weird accounts that sort of go after you. I'm not interested in any of that anymore, if I'm honest. So I think we'll make a decision. The Substack will continue. That will carry on. I'll keep doing that. You'll probably see a bit more shorter bonus pods over on that side and shorter bonus pods on Spotify, particularly over the summer if there's any big news, I guess. And you'll see some more shorts from me. But I think that will be it until something major changes. I think if Fellaini is still there, I'm not interested in talking about it anymore, because it won't, culturally, the club will never change. And I think we need to kind of realise that. So yeah, I think that's everything. I think we've talked about Zlatan, we've talked about Leao, we've talked about Fellaini, we've talked about the Genoa game, we've talked about the Cagliari game coming up, we've talked about Allegri, we've talked about the way that we play. I think that's everything I kind of want to talk about today. Have a great week, I guess. Forza Milan against Cagliari. Let's see if we can win and qualify for the Champions League. 100 million euros, Jerry. That's what you want. That's what you're here for. Forza Milan, and fuck fake fans. Yeah, peace out.